Polk County tax deed sales. Welcome back. I'm Ted Thomas. Now, Polk County tax deed sales are really an auction, and they go to the highest bidder. Now, the treasurer and the tax collector will conduct the auction, and they will sell the property to the highest bidder without a mortgage or a deed of trust. So I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in tax liens and tax defaulted property for over 30 years. So you'll get a good education on this video. Many of you are entrepreneurs. Now, people that are entrepreneurs are a little bit different. Most of them, they don't have the same motivation as everybody else. Their professional careers are different. They want to be entrepreneurs. I completely understand that. So many of them want to dream about having a lot of money, or they want to be famous, or they just want to be recognized. I don't know about you, but if you want to be an entrepreneur, I understand that you don't want to fit into the corporate mold, or you're not going to be in a template. You want to work when you want to do it. Well, this is the perfect business for doing that. Absolutely perfect business for that. I know many of you are already working a 40-hour job, and you want to quit that 40-hour job. First lesson from Ted is don't quit your job. The second lesson from Ted is review what I just said about lesson number 1. Don't quit your job. Keep the job. Many of you will end up going home. You'll work 60 hours to make at home just to try to make what you're doing in the 40-hour work week at the job. So don't quit your job. Stay with it. If that's you, I completely understand. A lot of people, they want to bail out of that job, and I understand why. So today we're going to talk about Polk County tax deed sales, an episode that's going to talk about properties that are being sold for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. All right? What if you could buy for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar, put a sign in front of it, sell the property on eBay or Craigslist or the MLS, and make yourself a profit by selling it at 50 or 60 cents on the dollar. So you bought it 10 or 20, now you're going to sell it 50 or 60 cents. That would be a nice markup. You'd make a nice margin on it. So who would you sell it to? You could sell it to a guy and gal that are fixer-upper people. You could sell it to a flipper. All right, there's lots of ways to sell the property, and I'll discuss that a little later on. But the point is, ask yourself, would that be a good business for you? Would that work for you? Okay, well, I can tell you right now, the county needs the money. That's why they're selling the property. What about yourself? Well, you'd be helping your family. If you can make a 30 or 40% profit, you'd be helping your family and yourself quite a bit. There's going to be plenty of profit at the Polk County tax deed sale. Now, remember, it's an auction. The county's going to auction tax defaulted property. All right, now Florida is unique. What does Florida do? The legislature says we're not going to take people's property, so they require 2 auctions. The first auction is this. It's a tax lien certificate auction. The property is not confiscated. The people don't move out of the property. They stay in the property, but they sell a tax lien. That creates an encumbrance or a lien against the property. Those people now have to pay a penalty for that. So the people have a lien on their property. All right, it could be all the way up to 18% interest in the state of Florida on that lien. All right, now I'll be right back and I'll tell you more about that. All right, so I said there's going to be 2 auctions in Florida. The first auction is a tax lien certificate auction. All right, now this business works because thousands of people want tax lien certificates. Why? Because they're safe and they're secure. Probably 95, 97% of the people will pay off the tax lien. So it's a safe, secure investment where you can earn a high interest rate. I'm talking about Polk County tax deed sales today. But first, the process has to take place with the tax lien certificate. In other words, the whole 2-year process must pass before the Polk County tax deed sale will take place. So first, Polk County will sell tax lien certificate. Anybody that owns that certificate might have to wait as much as 2 years to get paid. All right, but anytime during that 2-year period, the property owner can come in and pay. But meanwhile, the property owner is staying on the property. Okay, if they don't pay, at the end of 2 years, the certificate will mature. If they don't pay, then they're going to lose the property because the certificate owner needs to request the county have another auction, the second auction, have another auction, and the starting bid at that auction will be the back taxes and all that interest that has accrued. Anybody can go to that second auction and buy the property. So if you own the tax lien certificate, when that person buys, you'll get paid. If nobody bids on the property, you'll get the property. But today's episode is all about Polk County tax deed sales. Now, there's going to be plenty of auction properties here. All right. Now, I've noticed by going to the auctions that 25% of the properties are going to be land. So big counties, big meaning the size of the county, big counties will have a lot of land. So about 25% of that ends up at auction. All right, now, those properties that come up for auction, I notice people don't bid very much. What happens is people want to bid on houses. They love to bid on houses, so that pushes the prices of the houses up. All right, now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the land. What happens with the land, most people haven't thought about what they're going to do with it, so they don't bid on it, so the prices stay a lot lower. All right, so if you're interested in houses, well, of course, you want to buy those, and in many cases, you'll want to touch them up and fix them up and resell them if they're slightly used and abused. If they're junk, don't buy them, okay? But many of the properties just need to be cleaned up and then resold. But now I'm going to talk a little bit about this land. All right, now land requires you to be an educated buyer, but there's plenty of land at these auctions, at least 25%. So Polk County auction is very much like the other 66 counties in Florida. They're going to have a lot of auction properties to sell. Now, you need to be cautious. What do you need to be cautious of? Well, if you're going to do land, do you know about land surveys? Well, all the land looks the same from the car. You can get out of the car and you can look around. It all looks the same. All right, so you want to know about the land. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, don't buy the land without a survey, because there's no lines painted on the earth out there. You can't tell where the land stops and starts. All right, so when you buy land, you want to make sure that you've talked about a land survey. Why? Because you don't want your land, if you buy it at the auction, encroaching on somebody else's, or worse than that, what if somebody else's land's encroaching on yours and you buy it? So that's going to create a lot of challenges. All right, so a surveyor is important. Drainage is important. Water is important. So there's a lot of things that are important on land, but you can learn all that. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about Polk County tax deed sales. All right, I like to buy land. I like to look at, I prefer residential land, and I like residential land that's already within a subdivision. Now, if we look at some of these counties, they're going to have 25% of their auction is going to be land. I wouldn't walk away from those bidding on those properties. Why? Because there's going to be some good deals there, but you're going to have to learn a little bit about land. All right, so let's review real quick. 2 auctions in Florida. First auction is always going to be the tax lien auction. That means those people can stay in their property during the tax lien phase of it for 2 years. Turns out 95, 97% of those people will pay their tax, and you'll make a nice profit. If the property doesn't get paid, then it has to go to a second auction. So if you bought a tax lien, you have to request the county, put it at the second auction, and now they'll sell it. They'll start the bidding at whatever the delinquent tax was plus the interest. So you'll make money in either case. All right, Florida, in my opinion, is very benevolent. What does that mean? They let these people stay in the property for 2 years. Okay, everybody makes money. Tax lien certificate makes money. Tax deeds make money. All right, now I'm going to run out of time. So right below me, you can get an auction list if you'd like to see what one looks like and get a sample auction list. Just go right below me and get an auction list. It's absolutely free. I'm Ted Thomas.